No? Over the bottom of the press, Itmar Nami, yeah? Bottom of Ches Aleph. Last line. Shmei the Rav, I feel Lotovo, Imayim Elabit Seer, even if he just was tired when we did this system, yeah? I'm pretty sure Imayim Elabit Groigris, it started with the Hoitzis, but there's two things. There's the Mitzaref to say, to answer, that you could do. But to lead the bench, to be moitzi people and moitzi she'achol kezayis dogad. You have to eat a minimum of kezayis dogad, even though it's only shiur d'Rabbanan. It's enough to be moitzi. Amar Abchana bar Yehuda Mishmei de Rava Hilchasa Ocha Oli Yerek B'Shasa Kois Shayim Mitzdaref Hoitzi. Sorry, the Hoitzi. Okay, Amar Rav Nachman. Okay, we're up. Memches Beis. We're now explaining the source, how we learn out the obligation of Birkas Hamazon, and maybe we'll see Zimun as well. Amar Rav Nachman, Moshe Tikkun Yisrael. Here that's where he had good Birkas Hazon. Moshe instituted Birkas Hazon. He wrote that part. He was the one who instituted that bracha of benching. Shoshi Yard Lahem Mon. When Mon came down, they were satisfied. They wanted to thank Hashem. As he instituted a special, this part of Birkas Hamazon. Yeshua Tikkun Lahem Birkas Ha'ar. The second bracha was instituted by Yeshua B'Shah She Nichnasu. When they entered Eretz Yisrael, they thanked Hashem for the land of Eretz Yisrael, for the food, for the produce that comes from the land of Eretz Yisrael. So Shlomo tiknu Bnei Yerushalayim, and David Shlomo instituted Bnei Yerushalayim. They're the ones who built the Beis Hamikdash Yerushalayim. Yeah. And it explains how each one did. David Tikkun Al Yisrael Mecha V'Shlomo Yirecha. He instituted that part. Shlomo Tikkun is a bayis HaGadol V'HaKadosh. He added not just Yerushalayim but the Beis Hamikdash, because Shlomo completed the building of the Beis Hamikdash. V'Yavne Tova Meitiv. And what about the fourth bracha? Tova Meitiv was B'Yavne Tiknu. It was instituted in Yavne. Yavne was, which probably means, in other words, after the Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai was brought, the remaining Talmidim at the Churban to Yavne. There they established also, the bracha of Meitiv after the destruction of the city of Beitar. Tidu Keneged Arugei Beitar. The Omer of Nasba Oisa Yoim Shenisna Arugei to be kever. So they were waiting and waiting till after the tragedy of Beitar. They waited in order to be able to bury the Mesim of Beitar, and when they were allowed to do that, so then Shenitnu Karugi Beitar L'Kfura Tiknu B'Yavne HaToiv HaMeit of Toiv Shleisichu. That was a Shogeg Derech. They were waiting for a long time. The body did not decompose. Shenitnu L'Kfura. The following is the Seder Birkas Hamikdash is Birkas Hazon. So the Shnia Shlishis Bnei Yerushalayim. Now, what do you do on Shabbos? Now, obviously, Shabbos is Pashit, so you have to add something for Shabbos. What do you add? So you matkeh b'nechamin. The side nechamin, which means to say, Rashi explains that you start the bracha regular. Nechamin just means a concept. How do you start the third bracha? Rachim, no, Shabbat, right? And how do you Bnei Yerushalayim, Bnei Rachman, Bnei Berachamov? That's the Chama. We ask Hashem, to have give us consolation to Rachim, no, and Yerushalayim. And V'oimer Kedushas Yolem said we mention the Kedushas Hayom, Shabbos, in the middle, we say, would say, Rav Lezer would say, Rav Lezer argues, he says, so in other words, according to the first opinion, as we do, Ritzay is mentioned in the third bracha, in Rachem. So we say, by Rachem, Yishalayim. Now, Rabbi Lezer disagrees. He says it's not necessarily so. Ratza la'oimra b'nechama. If you want, you could say it in that bracha, oimra. If you want, because aretz, oimra. You can also say it in the second bracha, shtidu chayacham b'yav. That also is possible to say it. V'chamam ein oim nechama. Nechama say no. You say it in rachem. So the word says, well, okay, shkoyach. We said that already. Cham haynu talakama. Ikibenayu di'eved. That the Chacham say it must be said there, even though the Tanakhama said it should be said there. If it's not, it can still work. But the Chacham say it must be said there. So because it wasn't in the Torah. How in fact do I know that the Torah says you have to say because Hashem v'chalta v'savata ubeirachta. The Zubirkus is on. The pasuk says. The Chalta Savata. You're saying when you eat, you have to make a bracha. That's Birkas Hazan. It's the first verse. Hashem Alkecha. So that's a remnant too. Birkas Azimun. Ala Oretz is Zu Birkas Oretz. HaToiva is a remnant to Zumin Yerushalayim. Kachom HaToiva one just in Cha. Zu Toiv Vametiv. That's the Vametiv. Okay, so now we have the whole Birkas Hamazon, the whole Zimun, all the brachos, learning out from Psukim in the Torah. But how do you know the fun of? How do you know you make a Moitzi Lechem Na'ar? It's Shakol Nimidvara. So as we discussed at the beginning of Ketzim Mevorchim, but here it says this is the source, it writes to me, Nine Almers Kavach Chayim, Shesavei Amavali, Shirov, L'Kol Shekin, L'Kavach Chayim. And the Gemara on Ketzim Mevorchim says it's not necessarily enough. We have to come on to Svara. Rabbi Omer T'enot Sarach V'chalto so Rafto Zu Birkas Hazan Our Birkas Hamazon Azimun Zari. I don't need this pasuk. It's Migadul Hashem Iti Nafka, as we learned at the beginning of the parak. That's Migadul Hashem Iti Ala Oretz. So we continue. So now we're going to have an extra pasuk. Ala Oretz Zu Birkas Haaretz. Atoiv is a bit of slime. Atoiv is a lot. Atoiv meitiv biyavna tiknu. So en li alachra of lefara minayin tavulam asher nasan lecha. So from here we learn out. According to this version, we learn out bracha. We have a pasuk also for bracha rishayna. I have another pasuk. Berach eslach b'chaves b'mecha. Berach uberach uberach. V'masa karui lechem koinu shechlenu. Why do you call it lach b'cha? Your lechem. It's before you eat it. It's lechem. So you need to go bracha rishayna. Rabbi Nasser, a different pasuk. It's Rabbi Omer. Ki boyachem me'ir kein timtzeenu isay b'terem yala b'masa le'echo. Ki lo yoichel ha'om ad boyu ki hu yivarech azevach. In here, in the story, this is the story of Shaul HaMelech and Shmuel. And it says over here, he's looking for, I think Shaul's looking for Shmuel, if I'm not mistaken. But they answer him, we'll see here, the ladies are answering him, that if you want to find him, you'll find him when he comes, before he goes up to bring the korban, because they will not eat the bread until he makes the bracha on the zevach. So we understand that's a proof that he makes a bracha before they eat the korban. So that's a bracha right, a bracha rishayna. Then they'll eat it. Those that are invited to eat will eat. Now I want to get into a parenthetical discussion here. For kol kach lama, what's this whole story over here? There's somehow kasha on the pasuk in the Navi. Well, he asked a question over there where am I going to find, again, if I'm not mistaken, where am I going to find the Navi? Where am I going to find Shmuel? Sorry. Okay, yeah. Why was the question is why was such long talk? Why is the answer such a long answer? So my answer is, what should you say? This is just the Navi is writing it down. It's an interesting one, but maybe to teach us this. But since the Nashim were asked this question, there were women that were asked this question, and they tend to elaborate more when they speak. So that's what happened in the story. Shmuel Amar, no, actually they had other intentions here. That Shaul is looking for Shmuel. He asked these ladies the question, and Shaul, the people, everybody, as we see in the Navi, everybody wanted Shaul was very, charismatic and very pleasant, and everyone went to look at the beauty. He had a certain beauty that people wanted to see Shaul. His appearance was above all the other people, and they wanted to see him. There's another reason. That what was going on? What was happening over here is Shaul is looking for Shmuel. He's going to now be anointed and named the king of the Jewish people. And we have a rule. HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world in a way. Now, even though there was no king right now, but in effect Shmuel was like the king. He was the manik, and the Malchus would not be transferred over till the exact second and moment HaKadosh Baruch Hu declared as a proper time for Shaul to become king. Okay, Ainli Allah Birkas as Mazon, Birkas of Torah Vinay. Now let's continue on. So we learned Birkas as Mazon, Birkas as Zimun, and Brachos Rishayna. What about Birkas of Torah? Now this is a very important source. This is the source. The Birkas of Torah is the Raisa. Am Shmuel Kavachaymer. Achai Shaul Ivarech. If a person makes a bracha on eating, which sustain him to live in this world, achaye oilam haba lo kol shekain. So certainly he makes a bracha on Torah. We can equate the bracha on Torah with the luchos, with the Kabbalah of Torah. So therefore we learn the bracha. You make a bracha on Torah. How do I know? Another thing. This is another bracha you make. Do we even make a bracha on the ra, on all the ashkacha that haven't tam lema shenosach Hashem lekecha, and we darsha for da'inecha b'chol din shadoncha. That you judge us in all the dins, we make a bracha, main me the taiva, main me the piranias, whether it's good or piranias, it's something which is difficult. Rabbi Yehuda said, in Tzarech HaRiyayim taiva, al-arza taiva, taiva is a taiva. Chaynu Oimer, this is another source how we know because of Torah, we learn out from the word taiva. Because it says in the Torah also, Hilechech taiv, what's good? Torah is good. So we learn out from there Torah also. So more weiter Tanya Rabbi Oimer. Kol shlo Omar Eretz Chemde Toiva Ruchova. Now here we're just going through a few points. That besides we have three general brachas, right? We have al Oretz, al Amazon, and al Oretz. But now, as we know, there's a very specific nusach and words also have to be said in benching. Now, we can see here some of those words are actually irreplaceable, and ma'akev. And if you don't say those words, you're missing a piece of benching, which means you're not going to turn Lazer Oimer. Kol she'amar eretz chemda toiva ruchova, the birkas ha'aretz. You have to make sure you say, to really thank Hashem for Eretz Yisrael, you have to really say Eretz Chem, you have to make that statement. Umachus states similarly in the bracha of Rachem, In Bnei Yerushalayim, you have to say Malchus Beis David in Bnei Yerushalayim. Like, if you don't say that, Lo Yotzei Dechavasa. But bris, you also have to mention the bris. Rav Yossi Ayim Tzor Sheyasker B'Torah. Also to Torah. Pliva Tzor Sheyaktim Bris B'Torah. Now, there's another rule: is it has to be in the right order. You have to Shazu Nitna B'Shalosh Brisais. Shazu Nitna B'Yud Gimel Brisais. That's why bris comes first for Torah. Rabbi Abba Omer Tzarech Sheyomer B'Hoidot Tchila V'Soif. You have to say Ador beginning and end, no less than one. V'Chol Poichus Mi'achas Areizim Mikvuna. Chol Mantch V'Chol Achoyse Mantch Artzos B'Birkas Ha'aretz V'Shias Yisrael V'Yishalayim Areizim Bur. Now, there are other alternatives how you can end. You could kind of say that, also gets the point across, but it's a bur. That's like silly. You can say that, but that's just silly. Okay, no, we'll stop over here. We'll begin with this off. We'll begin with tomorrow.